for club meetings. Sophomore Daniel Sayan says he would like to see a gym in Shine in the future.
Maybe if there was a gym here closer to the bus station, because I live on South, that would be nice.
Cassandra Torres believes brighter colors and music would help to aesthetically improve the center.
I feel like there should be music, yeah, like just to make it more lively and happy, yeah.
Today's feedback opportunities are concluding with a suggestions graffiti wall at the Incomplete on South Campus tonight. Feedback is also being gathered through focus group sessions and the email shinefeedback@syr.edu.
Thanks, Gabrielle. 8 people are dead following the terror attack in New York City on Tuesday. Among those 8 was one native New Yorker, Nicholas Cleves. A recent graduate of Skidmore College, the software engineer and web developer was only 23. Cleves had returned home to New York City to pursue his first job out of school. An avid biker, he was killed when the truck barreled down a bike path near the World Trade Center.
And Onondaga County may reduce their spending costs this year. Honeywell, the company responsible for the majority of the pollution in Onondaga Lake, struck a deal with the county. The deal would make Honeywell pay for the restoration projects along the lake. In exchange, Onondaga County will maintain the new trails and piers at the lake. Honeywell is responsible for a majority of the lake cleanup now. And the first group of students are beginning classes in the Data Science at SU Master's program. The program is an online degree offered through the iSchool and Martin J. Whitman School of Management at Syracuse University. More than 60 students who have 11 years of professional experience on average are learning how to apply analytics and real-world insights to their current careers. And elsewhere in Syracuse, a 15-year-old student is facing criminal charges after falsely reporting a threat. It happened over a Snapchat that the student sent to multiple people. That Snapchat mentioned weapons. The incident occurred at East Syracuse Manoa Central High School. Police charged the student with third-degree falsely reporting an incident. This is the second threat investigation for the school this week.
Well, Josh, I don't know about you, but I'm sick of this rain and I'm sick of using my umbrella.
Me too. I don't even use an umbrella. My sneakers got soaked this morning. Jack Watson, is this rain going to continue?
Connor and Josh, you might not want to put that umbrella away just yet because there is rain in the forecast very soon. But today here on campus, a high of 66 degrees. Some AM rain, really raining hard this morning, but it dried up by the afternoon. Pretty warm afternoon on the whole. A 56-degree low tonight with some rain coming in. A 70% chance of rain as we get to the early morning hours, late night hours. And tomorrow's forecast here, a high of 58 degrees, a pretty comparable day to today with some AM rain and then some dry afternoon conditions. I'll have a 5-day forecast and your Friday day planner on my full forecast when Citrus TV News Live at 6 returns, guys.
Thanks, Jack. Coming up, the Federal Reserve picked a new chairman. Find out who President Trump chose today.
Plus, the Bank of England makes a change the nation hasn't seen in more than a decade. Stick around.
It's those guys.
Get some drinks.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Go and step out of the vehicle for me.
See ya, buddy. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city. Gear up, guys.
Got a quarter?
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. but I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise and be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
The GOP has finally unveiled their tax cut legislation. The House of Representatives presented the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act today.
The bill will cut the corporate tax rate to 20% and eliminate estate tax. Parents will also get an extra $600 for each child they claim on their tax form. Talking Points contributor Byron Tollefson is here with more about the bill.
The tax plan will cost $1.5 trillion over the next decade. Speaker of the House Paul Ryan says the goal is to give the middle class a tax break. The bill does establish 3 tax brackets, 12, 25, and 35%. Top earners pay nearly 40. Now, the middle class will pay less thanks to a doubling of standard deductions. For married couples, the break doubles from $12,000 to $24,000, but big business gets the biggest cuts. Corporate rates fall dramatically from 35% to 20%. In addition, the estate tax will be phased out in 6 years, letting wealthy families avoid paying taxes on large inheritance. Here's what Paul Ryan had to say about the bill.
This is a key component of our debt reduction efforts, which is growing the economy. And the best thing we can possibly do to get this economy growing faster is tax reform and tax cuts.
Thank you for being here, Byron. How realistic is it that this bill is going to pass?
Well, it's still very early in the process. There's going to be a lot of revisions to the bill, but we already have a few GOP senators coming out with changes they'd like to see. Marco Rubio, the senator from Florida, wants to raise that child tax credit you talked about earlier to $2,000. In addition to that, Bob Corker wants to make sure there are no loopholes and nothing gets added to the deficit. So there's a lot of work to be done, but the key for the GOP is making sure they retain those 2 Senate votes. They can only lose 2. In addition to all of that, we already have a few groups, like a big real estate organization, coming out against it. So we're going to see what happens in the future, but if they can keep those 2 Senate votes in the GOP, they should be okay.
All right, well, thank you, Byron. We'll be sure to monitor that. Thanks. Meanwhile, the Trump administration continues to threaten suspected terrorists with harsh punishments. Attorney General Jeff Sessions spoke today about Guantanamo Bay.
Terrorists should know this. This administration will use all lawful tools at our disposal, including prosecution in Article III courts or at Guantanamo Bay. If anyone has any doubt about it, they can ask the more than 500 criminals whom the Department of Justice has convicted of terrorism-related offenses since 9/11. And they can ask the dozens of enemy combatants at Guantanamo.
The administration's threats come in the wake of the act of terror in New York City on Tuesday that left 8 dead and 12 injured. Law enforcement says that Saifullah Saipov was an Uber and Lyft driver. He had completed over 1,400 transports, and there were no complaints against him.
President Trump says Saipov smiled when he asked for an ISIS flag to be hung in his hospital room this morning. Federal charges of terrorism have been filed against the suspect. And President Trump is already commenting on the charges. In a tweet this morning, he stated that terrorists should get the death penalty. This is a stark change from the stance expressed yesterday.
Legal commentators believe Trump's public statement will only make the death penalty process more difficult. Critics say it is unusual for presidents to comment on pending criminal cases, as it could be difficult to find an unbiased jury. And police in Colorado arrested a man suspected of shooting people in a Walmart store. The man, Scott Ostrom, fled the store after he opened fire and killed 2 men and a woman.
Police used security footage to identify the man and found him 14 hours after the incident. Police are investigating a possible motive and believe the shooting was random. And President Trump officially nominated Jerome Powell as the next head of the Federal Reserve. Trump predicted that the public would be extremely impressed with the nominee.
Powell's plans include freeing small banks from rules implemented due to the 2008 financial crisis. A Federal Reserve Board governor since 2012, Powell was a leading force in drafting bank regulations after the crisis. And new details tonight out of Asia about the North Korean nuclear program. South Korean intelligence said today that North Korea is preparing for more nuclear tests.
This comes after seeing the increased activity around the Missile Research Institute in Pyongyang, North Korea's capital. After South Korea published this statement, National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster asked nations around the world to respond.
The President will continue to call on all responsible nations, especially those with the most influence over North Korea, to isolate the North Korean regime economically and politically, to convince its leaders that the pursuit of nuclear weapons is a dead end.
And Nobel Peace Prize winner Suu Kyi visited the Rakhine state for the first time since the Myanmar military started a military crackdown on the Rohingya Muslim minority group.
The de facto leader of Myanmar has faced international criticism for ignoring what the United Nations has called ethnic cleansing by the army. So far, 60,000 Rohingya Muslims have fled the country. And interest rates are going up in England. The country's national bank raised the official rate from 0.25% to 0.5% today. Economists worry it will slow their economy that is already hurting from Brexit.
The bank's governor, Mark Carney, says rates could rise twice more over the next 3 years. Today's hike is England's first in more than a decade. Almost 4 million households now face higher mortgage interest payments.
From the CitrusTV Weather Center, this is SU's most accurate weather forecast.
After some chilly days, we finally get some warm temperatures after some morning rain today. Here in Syracuse, 63 degrees, Cortland 58, Ithaca 62, out by Lake Ontario, Rochester 61 degrees, Penyon 62, and Elmira 63. Here's our future radar. A dry night for the most part, but as we get into the early morning hours, we get a major development moving southeast to our area. Right now on the hill, 63 degrees, warm, calm conditions with some clouds, and we do have some showers moving through, as I mentioned, with our radar. Our Friday day planner here, 56 degrees to start out when you're waking up for classes. By noon, 53, and by 6 p.m., 48 degrees, so getting progressively colder throughout the day and some rain to begin. I'll have our 5-day forecast when CitrusTV News Live at 6 returns, guys.
After the break, Hershey's takes the gold. Find out about the company's sweetest new release.
And history textbooks may have a new chapter. Find out how a CIA document may reveal new details about Hitler. Stay tuned.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. Gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Taking care of a family member can lead to plenty of questions. Fortunately, there's a place to get the answers, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
If you see news happening on campus, in Syracuse, or across the nation, call the CitrusTV Newsroom, 315-443-1177, or tweet at CitrusTV News, your campus news leader.
The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission recalled nearly 40 million Kide fire extinguishers. The decision followed hundreds of reports and a death due to the failure of push-button and plastic handle extinguishers during fire emergencies. Consumers are instructed to immediately contact Kide and request a free replacement for their fire unit. For more information, be sure to view the full list of affected models on the U.S. Consumer Product and Safety Commission website. Whole Foods Market is making today's job search a little more optimistic. The supermarket chain announced a national hiring event that is offering on-the-spot job interviews. The company promises to fill 6,000 open positions. All of their locations are participating in today's event. There are 20 locations here in New York.
And Hershey's chocolate is about to get the Midas touch. The new gold caramelized cream bar is expected to hit shelves this December. It's the first candy bar the chocolate company is introducing since 1995. This bar offers crushed peanuts and pretzels for the enjoyment of chocolate fans. The, quote, Taste of Gold bar is a nod to the company's partnership with the 2018 Winter Olympics. And a new monkey species is documented. Researchers found the new orangutan on the Indonesian island of Sumatra. The furry creatures immediately face ecological threats, as researchers estimate that there to be fewer than 800 animals left. Upon the announcement of the discovery, researchers hope that the media coverage will spark further efforts to protect this endangered species. And historians are in shock after more confidential documents are being released to the public. Today, the CIA website released a document that may reveal a Nazi dictator, Adolf Hitler, lived in South America after World War II. The newly declassified CIA documents discloses that a former SS soldier regularly met with Hitler in 1955, nearly a decade after the war.
Coming up in sports, there's a new beginning for every ending. Men's basketball opened their campaign with an exhibition game last night, and the men's soccer and field hockey teams are fighting to keep their seasons alive. Stick around.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
You've messed up your son's haircut.
Mom?
Do you A, try to fix it?
Like it never happened.
B, work with what you got? Or C, show solidarity?
Thank you, baby.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
And now, your CitrusTV Sports Report.
Welcome to your CitrusTV Sports Update. I'm Adam Munger. Syracuse fans saw this year's new look orange for the first time against Southern New Hampshire last night. Of last year's top 7 scorers, Tyus Battle is the only one returning. Let's go to the Carrier Dome now. Battle there looking to take on a big leadership role this season, especially in the scoring department. But early on, it wouldn't be Battle, it would be Frank Howard with the first 3 of the night. 3-0 SU at that point, and the fans could take a seat and stop clapping. Southern New Hampshire hung for a little while though, but full court press, a steal by Merrick Dolezaj, and Tyus Battle puts it down. Syracuse up 15-13 at that point, all orange after that. Bourama Sidibe, stop looking at my Lucky Charms, one of 6 blocks for him on the night. Syracuse up 20 at halftime, and they would just keep pouring it on. O'Shea Brissett with the one-handed slam. Syracuse up 47-24 at that point. And how about this? No-look pass from Howard Washington, finds Sidibe, two-handed jam again there. Syracuse wins this one 84-54, and head coach Jim Boeheim was most impressed with the middle of his defense.
We hadn't blocked that many shots in a long time, and you know, these 2 guys are pretty good shot blockers. They're not average shot blockers. They're pretty good shot blockers.
I'm hoping it's something we can, keep on doing. I think if we do this every night, I think it will be a scary matchup.
Our defense was good tonight. Good movement. And it wasn't about because we were bigger. We were just moving, doing a good job covering people, and did a good job in the press.
And while basketball has just begun, the men's soccer team's season ended last night. The 12-seeded Orange lost to the Clemson Tigers in penalty kicks. They went to the shootout tied at 2. Johannes Piel scored on a header in the 89th minute to tie the game, but the Orange just couldn't seal the deal. They end their 2017 season 6-8-4, and that's their first losing season since 2011. And we've got a live field hockey update for you from Louisville, Kentucky. In the second half of the ACC quarterfinals, Syracuse is currently down 3-2. Louisville scored with just 2 minutes left in the game, and the Orange scorers were Carolyn Hoffman and Laura Herf. The winner of today's matchup takes on the Duke Blue Devils tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. And in other news, a couple SU athletes have been awarded. Senior kicker Cole Murphy is one of 20 Lou Groza Award semifinalists. Murphy has hit 16 of 18 field goals on the year, including a career-long 53-yarder against Miami just 2 weeks ago. And women's soccer goalie Courtney Brosnan has been named to the third-team All-ACC. The senior had 102 saves this season, and of her 24 career wins in Orange, 18 of them were shutouts. And an Orange alum has gotten another shot at the pros. Former SU defensive lineman Arthur Jones signed with the Washington Redskins today. While at Syracuse, Jones was an All-Big East selection for 3 straight seasons. Jones has 172 career tackles since being drafted by the Baltimore Ravens in 2010. His first game with Washington will be against the Seattle Seahawks this Sunday. And a fantastic World Series ended last night with a 5-1 win for the Houston Astros. The Astros scored all 5 of their runs in the first 2 innings, and they never looked back. World Series MVP George Springer led the way yet again. He hit 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs, and Springer also hit a home run in his 4th straight World Series game. That's the first time that's ever happened. And how about an AFC East showdown? The Bills are visiting the Jets tonight for Thursday Night Football, and Buffalo is coming off a 20-point win against the Oakland Raiders. While the Jets fell to the Falcons last Sunday for their 3rd straight loss by a touchdown or less. Wide receiver Kelvin Benjamin isn't expected to make his Bills debut tonight, so the Jets will be keying in on top 10 rusher LaShawn McCoy.
So Adam, Bills, Jets, who do you see coming out on top?
I have to go with the Bills. They're one of the biggest surprises in the NFL to me this season. The offense has been completely running all around LaShawn McCoy, like I mentioned. He's one of the best and one of the most creative running backs in the NFL. And then I think once Kelvin Benjamin gets back and can get accustomed to his new team, I think the Bills could really maybe even push the Patriots for the AFC East this season.
All right, well, we'll see. I'm looking forward to the game.
Me too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Coming up, stay tuned for the moment you have all been waiting for. Starbucks has released their new holiday cups. Don't go away.
I knew that I was going to go to college, from a young age. I definitely want to major in political science, become the mayor or something, make the situation better for other people. My name is Justin, and I am your dividend.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. This is a serious problem, but one we can solve. Visit feedingamerica.org to help. Together we can solve hunger. Together we're feeding America.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
And welcome back inside the Citrus TV studio. Jack Watson, what can we expect for the rest of this week?
Well, the rest of the week looking a little similar to what we had today, as we can see with our 5-day forecast. A high of 59 degrees tomorrow with some morning rain and some clouds on Saturday, a high of 52 degrees. But Sunday and Monday, when we're really going to start to see this rain, it's still a little warm, 62 and 61 degrees respectively on Sunday and Monday. But the rain is going to be continuous throughout the day, those 2 days. And we get really chilly on Tuesday, 47 degrees the high that day.
All right, thank you, Jack.
And online shopping this holiday season may have just become a lot easier. Today, the U.S. Postal Service announced that it will offer cheap next-day delivery while including Sundays. The post office has not revealed the companies participating in this pilot overnight shipping program. but the program is expected to be launched just in time for retailers' most competitive online shopping days.
A giant 30-meter void was discovered within Khufu's Great Pyramid in Giza, Egypt. French and Japanese scientists don't know why this large void exists in the largest Egyptian pyramid and don't know what's inside it. Researchers are currently working on ways to access the void without damaging the pyramid. Halloween may be over. It's now November, so what does that mean? Starbucks holiday cups are here. This year, the company features a stack of presents, a Christmas tree, doves, and 2 people holding hands.
There's also room for customers to draw on the cups and make their own designs. Starbucks is asking those customers to use the hashtag #GiveGood to promote this year's cups. And Connor, you know, there's a lot of space to draw a lot of things. What are you planning on drawing?
I'm not too sure. I could, you know, maybe add a little more art. I'm not the best artist, but I might be spending most of my time correcting the spelling on my name. Usually not very good with that.
I think I'm going to go for a picture of you.
Jack, how about you?
Well, you know what? I don't really drink Starbucks coffee that much, but if I did, you know, I'd probably just spend my time drawing stars. That's the only thing I know how to draw.
Fair enough.
And that's all the time we have today.
Be sure to visit CitrusTV.com for more content and follow us on Twitter at CitrusTV. From all of us here at Citrus, I'm Connor White.
And I'm Josh Feinblatt. Have a great evening, Syracuse.